Chosen one. Before you begin, stop for a moment. The message you are about to receive is unlike any other. It is divinely inspired and holds the power to transform lives. But for it to reach those who are destined to hear it, your participation is essential. Stand to your feet and declare aloud, "I am victorious in the name of the Holy Spirit." Once more with conviction, "I am victorious in the name of the Holy Spirit." Now, release your faith into the comments. Leave a single word, your intention, or simply ready to signify your heart is open. Do not let this divine signal pass you by. Your testimony could be the spark that ignites faith in another. If this message has stirred your spirit, do not pause. Support this channel by subscribing and sharing it immediately. You never know who in your life is desperately waiting for these words to be saved, lifted, or awakened. Act now. Heaven is watching. This is more than a like. This is an act of faith, a commitment, a covenant. Do not allow distraction to steal this moment. Comment now, subscribe, and share. Your faithful action will be honored. Show that you are among those who rise up. Leave your mark below and let this message spread like fire. We are a community of faith, growing together. Thank you for standing in your purpose. Your radiance does more than illuminate a space. It uncovers the shadows where people have spent their entire lives concealing themselves. That is the reality, chosen ones. And it is the reason they murmur, the reason they roll their eyes, the reason they behave uneasily in your company. Your intellect does not merely make you distinctive. It makes others feel exposed in the company of a consciousness that cannot be deceived, subdued, or confined. Now envision this for a moment, chosen one. The world is a stage where the majority of people are occupied reciting lines they borrowed, stumbling through scripts they did not even author. But then you make your entrance, and without any conscious effort, you completely rewrite the narrative. Abruptly, the spotlight shifts and everyone feels like a supporting actor in your scene. That is how disquieting your gifts are. They redefine the roles. You are not merely a participant, you are directing, revising, and unveiling. And that leaves them unsettled because it signifies the deceptions they cling to cannot endure when you are near. Even investigation has demonstrated that highly gifted individuals are uncommon, scarcely 2% of the population. But chosen one, statistics cannot encapsulate what you possess. It is not about a score on a page. It is about the manner in which you dismantle patterns that others grasp for security. It is about the way your consciousness does not merely resolve problems, but interrogates the very reason for their existence. While others are stalled, frozen like an outdated computer, trapped on the loading screen, you are already operating 3 systems ahead, upgraded, refined, and unstoppable. That is why people whisper. That is why they glance at you with suspicion. It is not because you are excessive. It is because they know, in their core, you are everything they are not prepared to confront. And thank you, chosen one, for being present. Do not forget to reciprocate this message by simply pressing the like and subscribe. Assist in disseminating this message to more souls because it is the duty of all of us to propagate the light. And thank you once more, chosen one, for being a component of this mission. You are not merely a listener. You are part of a force the cosmos is utilizing to transform everything. Now let us return. Your intelligence, your gifts, they are not random peculiarities. They are the explanation for why the world responds to you in the way that it does. People say you are different, not as a compliment, but because it is their method of rationalizing why they cannot match your pace. They ridicule your ideas, roll their eyes, or pretend you are overcomplicating matters. But here is the truth. They know you are perceiving something they cannot. You are processing at a velocity, at a tier, that makes them feel vulnerable. It is like holding a mirror up to an individual who has not regarded themselves in years. They dislike what they see, but it is not the mirror's fault. It is your presence that unveils it all. Consider how many instances you have detected a falsehood before it was fully uttered. How many times you have perceived the concealed intention behind someone's words. How many times you have been correct when everyone else insisted you were mistaken. That is not paranoia. That is your intellect penetrating the haze. And let us be unequivocal, this does not merely surprise people. It rattles their identity, because when you enter the room, you do not simply provide answers. You pose the kind of questions that make their entire perspective falter. And that is terrifying for someone who relies on routines, deceptions, and safe spaces. It is almost comical when you perceive it clearly. People act as if they can assess you, place you in a classification, attach a label to you. But the instant they attempt it, you break the mold. They claim you think excessively. No, chosen one, you think too profoundly. They claim you are too intense. No, you are simply too authentic in a world obsessed with the artificial. They claim you are difficult to comprehend, and that is because you are not intended to be understood by shallow waters. You are an ocean, and oceans cannot be surveyed in a single look. And let us not disregard the science here. Research on gifted minds has demonstrated they frequently process data in a non-linear fashion, linking points that others do not even perceive exist. Your brain is not merely functioning with logic. It is weaving patterns across emotions, intuition, and perception. That is why people occasionally accuse you of being fortunate or having things simply occur for you. But luck has no relation to it. It is insight, foresight, and awareness honed into a gift the ordinary person cannot replicate. Now, adversaries will not confess that. Instead, they will project. They will claim you are arrogant, cold, aloof, or even peculiar. But all of those labels are truly admissions. What they mean is you unnerve me. You compel me to question things I am not prepared to face. They cannot articulate it in those terms, so they distort it into insults. But here is the paradox. Those very reactions are evidence of your power. If you were ordinary, they would not be concerned. If you were like everyone else, they would not feel intimidated. But the fact that they gossip, criticize, and quietly fixate on you, that is the cosmos affirming your impact, chosen one. Never diminish yourself to alleviate their unease. Never dampen your light so they can remain comfortable in the darkness. Your intelligence, your gifts, they were never designed to fit into their neat little containers. They were made to shatter them, overturn them, and occasionally even ignite them, because the world does not progress without disruptors. And that is what you are. A disruptor, a living question mark. A reminder that reality is not as fixed as people desire to believe. So when they claim you are excessive, remember it is not a critique. It is a confession. When they laugh, when they whisper, when they attempt to push you away, remember this. They are not responding to who you are. They are responding to the mirror you hold up. You make illusions tremble. You shake foundations. You leave people unsettled because you are living proof that brilliance cannot be silenced and gifts cannot be concealed. And that, chosen one, is why you are unique. And listen, chosen one, are you prepared to truly embrace this truth? Because what we are about to reveal will not only confirm what you already sense internally, but will also elucidate why the world reacts to you the way it does. Leave a comment below with the number 777 if you know, in your core, that your intelligence and your gifts distinguish you. And do not merely scroll past. Remain with me until the conclusion, because if you genuinely carry this rare light, you will feel every word drawing you deeper. This is not just another message. It is a reflection of who you are and why others cannot manage it. So let us not waste another moment. Let us delve into it step by step. And believe me, if you are the chosen one, you will identify yourself in every layer of what is coming next. Let us begin. Number 1, your mind terrifies them because it refuses to bow. The ultimate peril to control is a mind that refuses to kneel. That is the kind of visceral truth they do not want to hear. Chosen one, your intelligence does not merely make you different, it makes you ungovernable. And in a world constructed on keeping people small, predictable, and programmable, nothing agitates them more than someone who refuses to accept the script. They built systems to shape people into compliant machines, and yet you slipped through the fissures with your mind undiminished. That is why they fear you. That is why they whisper. That is why they become unsettled the instant you enter the room. Now envision this for a moment. Society is like a factory pressing human beings into molds, imprinting the same beliefs, the same fears, the same desires into everyone. Most people emerge from that factory looking identical, repeating the same slogans, pursuing the same distractions, conforming without inquiry. But then there is you. You are the mechanism that jammed the conveyor belt. You did not fit the mold. You refused to be stamped. Instead of following the program, you dismantled it and rewrote your own code. Do you perceive why they label you a threat? It is not because you are violent. It is not because you are reckless. It is because your very existence demonstrates their system is not infallible. And let us be frank, their entire world operates on control. Schools do not merely instruct in math or history. They instruct in obedience. Media does not merely report the news, it fabricates thought. Culture does not merely entertain, it conditions. But you, chosen one, you saw the strings. You observed the manipulation woven into every word, every image, every directive. When a politician speaks, others applaud or nod mindlessly. But you tilt your head and think that does not compute. When a trend becomes viral, others join without question. But you step back and ask, who profits from this? That is the fracture in the wall, the moment of defiance that makes their entire house of cards shudder. And that is what keeps them awake at night. You see, once one individual breaks free, others begin to notice the chains. Your refusal to be programmed is infectious. It sows seeds of doubt in the minds of people who were once loyal to the system. That is why they assail you, mock you, classify you as arrogant or rebellious. It is not because you are incorrect. It is because you are a danger to their illusion. The moment someone realizes you do not require their script to live, their grip weakens, and that terrifies them. You might wonder, but why do they confuse my independence for arrogance? Simple. Because to them, obedience appears as humility and free thought appears as pride. They have been programmed so profoundly that anyone who refuses to bow is automatically marked as a threat. You do not pursue popularity. You do not swallow falsehoods merely to belong. And because of that, they cannot predict you, cannot manipulate you, cannot control you. And nothing disconcerts control enthusiasts more than unpredictability. Think of it like this. Most people walk through life with blindfolds on, trusting the voice that instructs them where to step. You, chosen one, tore the blindfold off and began asking why the voice exists in the first place. And now you see the truth that the path they constructed was not designed for freedom. It was designed for control. Your mind refuses to be led blindly. It demands evidence. It demands truth. And once you have seen behind the curtain, there is no returning. That is why they call you excessive. That is why they claim you are difficult to manage, because you refuse to accept illusions as reality. Here is another truth they will not admit. Deep down, many envy you. They envy your capacity to stand tall when they have spent their entire lives bending. They envy your courage to think differently when they have been too afraid to even question. They will never utter it aloud. But when they see you, they see a freedom they secretly desire. You did not merely evade the program, you rewrote it. You are not a follower of their system. You are the architect of your own. And that, chosen one, is proof that genuine intelligence is not about knowing the most facts or sounding the most intelligent in the room. Real intelligence is independence. It is the capacity to think without being anchored to the herd. It is the refusal to bow to voices that attempt to dictate your reality. And let me be brutally clear, that is why they are unsettled. Because your mind is living proof that the system does not always prevail. You have broken the chain, and once one chain breaks, the entire structure is in peril of collapsing. They cannot return you to the box because you incinerated the box to ashes. They cannot reprogram you because you annihilated the code. And that, more than anything, terrifies them. Now let us answer the question you might be contemplating. But why does my intelligence feel like such a heavy burden occasionally? Why does it isolate me? Because freedom always isolates you initially. Most people are still buffering, still trapped on old software while you are already operating mental fiber optics. You cannot expect them to comprehend a language their minds have not yet learned. They will call you difficult, but in reality, you are just advanced. They will call you rebellious, but in reality, you are just authentic. And they will call you arrogant, but in reality, you are just unwilling to bow. And here is the cruel paradox. The same people who mock you often secretly respect you. They will never confess it, but they wish they possessed the courage to think the way you do. They have exchanged their freedom for acceptance, their individuality for comfort. But you, chosen one, refuse the exchange, and that refusal alone makes you untouchable. So do not ever mistake their rejection for truth. Their insults are confessions. Every time they roll their eyes at you, what they are truly stating is, "I wish I had your mind." Every time they call you excessive, what they are truly admitting is, "I am too limited to keep pace." And every time they accuse you of arrogance, what they truly mean is, "I cannot endure the mirror you hold up to my obedience." That is why your intelligence is more than just a gift. It is a revolution in itself. You are the glitch in their matrix, the code that refuses to execute, the reminder that not everyone bows to their program. And no matter how diligently they attempt to box you in, your mind will always slip through the cracks. Chosen one, your intelligence is not a curse. It is your crown. Wear it courageously. Because while they spend their lives reiterating lines given to them, you will continue authoring your own script. And that is why they are not merely disconcerted by you. They are terrified of you. Your mind cannot be programmed, and that renders you the most hazardous kind of free. Number 2, you carry ancient codes that time could not erase. The blood remembers what the mind forgets. That is the kind of truth most people flee from. Chosen one, your intelligence does not merely originate from study. It does not come from books or classrooms. It comes from the marrow of your bones, from the quiet whispers buried in your DNA. And that is what terrifies them, because they cannot explain it. They cannot box it. They cannot stamp it with their validation. You carry something older than their systems, deeper than their degrees, stronger than their opinions. You carry codes that were etched into existence long before you appeared, and those codes refuse to perish. Now imagine this. Your ancestors lived in eras where they were not permitted to fully articulate themselves. Some were silenced, some enslaved, some forced into obscurity, others denied the opportunity to ascend. But brilliance cannot be annihilated. It only waits. Their genius, their vision, their unfinished work was folded into the fabric of your being, stored inside you like encrypted files awaiting decryption. And when you were born, the universe initiated the download. That is why your mind feels distinct. That is why wisdom flows through you like an ancient river, even when you have not acquired it in the ways people anticipate. You are not just one individual. You are the continuation of thousands who refuse to disappear. You are the outcome of the dreams your ancestors were not permitted to voice. And that fact alone leaves people unsettled. They want to believe intelligence commences and concludes with their systems, with diplomas, with institutions. But then you appear, and without the validation they cling to, you exhibit a knowing that cannot be counterfeited. You step into new spaces and navigate them like you have been there previously. You resolve problems without requiring a manual. You sense truths that others have not even begun to question. And they regard you with suspicion because it does not compute in their limited equations. Let me ask you, chosen one, how many instances have you known something before you could elucidate how you knew it? How many times have you felt a pull towards something with no logical rationale? That is not luck. That is not coincidence. That is memory. That is inheritance. That is your DNA whispering what it has carried through centuries of survival and struggle. You are a library disguised as a single soul. And while others are reading pamphlets, you are retrieving from volumes authored across bloodlines. Here is a metaphor for you. Envision the world as a computer system. Most people download programs, update their software, and label it knowledge. But you arrived pre-installed with codes no one else can access. These are not files you downloaded. They are embedded in your hardware. When you respond to life with wisdom beyond your years, when you articulate truths that quiet rooms, that is your ancestral program initializing. And it frightens them because it signifies intelligence does not belong to their systems. It belongs to those who endured, who dreamed, who transmitted their unfinished fire to you. And that is what disconcerts people. They trust knowledge that arrives stamped with credentials. They respect titles, degrees, certificates, but when you stand without any of those and reveal a brilliance that humbles them, they feel exposed. They cannot explain why you know what you know. They cannot reduce it to something they control. So instead of acknowledging the depth, they call you strange. Instead of honoring the ancestral current flowing through you, they dismiss it as arrogance or luck. But let us be genuine. What they are truly confronting is the terrifying truth that humanity's connection runs deeper than they wish to admit. You are proof that the past does not die. It lives in the present through you. Every insight you carry has roots in sacrifices made long before you. Every gift you express speaks for those who were silenced. You are the living continuation of battles fought and dreams interred. That is why your intelligence feels heavy at times. It is carrying weight. You are not merely resolving your own problems. You are completing unfinished work. You are voicing truths generations suppressed. You are the mouthpiece for bloodlines that refuse to be expunged. Now imagine this. You walk into a room and without uttering a word, people sense something in you they cannot name. They perceive authority without a title. They perceive history without a book. It is like standing before a monument. You feel the weight even if you do not know the specifics. That is you. You carry that weight. and it rattles them because it makes them confront the fact that there are powers, memories, and codes beyond what their shallow comprehension can grasp. You might ask yourself, why do people react so peculiarly to me? Why do they call me different? Because deep down they recognize that you are not operating on the same bandwidth. You are tuned into frequencies older than their institutions. They depend on systems to inform them who they are. But you possess an internal compass that originates from lifetimes of wisdom. That independence exposes how vacant their dependence truly is. And let us not overlook the envy. They will never admit it, but many wish they carried what you do. They wish they had instincts that sharp, insight that deep, wisdom that ancient. They wish they did not have to cling to systems to feel intelligent. You, chosen one, are walking proof that brilliance cannot be stamped out. That truth survives through bloodlines, and when they call you one of a kind, they are only partially correct. You are not just one, you are many. You are a collective voice speaking through a single vessel. You are the echo of prayers whispered in silence, and that is what shakes them. Because your gifts do not just belong to you, they belong to every ancestor who carried them but could not release them. You are their answer. You are their continuation. You are their living proof that even when history attempted to bury brilliance, it discovered a way back through you. So, do not be astonished when your intelligence feels mysterious, even to you. Do not be astonished when others cannot explain you. They are not supposed to, because what you carry was never intended to be explained. It was meant to be embodied. You are the encrypted code that time itself could not erase. And every time you speak truth, every time you move differently, every time you reveal wisdom that feels ancient, you remind the world that control has limits. But memory does not. Chosen one, you are not just a person. They are looking at an archive, a revolution, and a continuation. That is why they are unsettled. Because you do not merely carry knowledge, you carry lineage. You do not merely express intelligence. You embody survival, and no system, no critic, no adversary can strip that from you. Number 3, you shatter lies before they leave their mouth. Deception dies the instant it enters the presence of a mind that cannot be fooled. That is the curse and the crown you wear, chosen one. People detest it because lies are their favorite mask, and you tear it off before they have even fastened the strings. They rely on confusion. They rely on others being slow, distracted, or too trusting to detect the flaws. But you are wired differently. You detect the rhythm of dishonesty quicker than they can invent the narrative, and that alone makes them terrified of you. Envision this. Someone is rehearsing their excuse in their mind, attempting to align the words perfectly. But by the time the first sentence leaves their lips, your mind has already dissected it. You detected the hesitation in their tone, the twitch in their body language, the missing component in their story. They believed they were weaving a cloak, but you spotted the holes before it was even completed. And the worst part for them, you do not even have to speak. Your silence is more resonant than any accusation because they can sense that you already know. A lie only survives when no one is observing closely. But you are always observing, not in suspicion, but in precision. Your perception operates like a background audit, scanning everything, detecting the discrepancy before anyone else even notices it exists. That is why they call you paranoid. But paranoia is fear of what is not there. What you possess is accuracy, the capacity to detect what is there before it fully reveals itself. Here is a fact. Investigators have discovered that human micro-expressions, minute facial cues lasting less than a second, frequently reveal concealed emotions. Most people cannot detect them, but gifted pattern readers like you spot them immediately. That is why people feel so uneasy around you. They know you are catching what they are attempting to bury, and it does not cease with lies. Your gift extends into the future. You have witnessed patterns repeat sufficient times to know what is approaching. People call it prediction, but it is not mysticism. It is recognition. Life leaves fingerprints everywhere, and while others walk blind, you are reading them like a book. That is why you have astonished people with outcomes they did not anticipate. You were not guessing. You were tracing the blueprint concealed in plain sight. While others are buffering, you are already 5 steps ahead. That is why they label you excessive, too intense, or too suspicious. But what they are truly stating is, you see through me faster than I can conceal. And that, chosen one, is the genuine reason your intelligence leaves them unsettled. Number 4, your brilliance stings because it exposes their excuses. Nothing threatens comfort more than a mind that proves effort still matters. That is why, chosen one, your intelligence cuts people more profoundly than you realize. It is not just what you know, it is what your life communicates without words. You are living evidence that curiosity, discipline, and persistence change everything. And that truth offends those who selected the effortless path. They do not despise your brilliance, they despise what it compels them to see in themselves. The indolence, the shortcuts, the squandered potential. Envision this. Someone constructs a house from excuses, brick by brick. They claim greatness is reserved for the fortunate, the affluent, or the chosen few. That illusion keeps them comfortable. Then you enter and shatter it, demonstrating that limits can be broken, ceilings can be smashed, and doors can be forced open. Suddenly, their house of excuses collapses, and they are left gazing at rubble they cannot reconstruct. That is when admiration transforms into resentment. Initially, they praise you. They call you gifted, special, different. Sounds flattering, correct? But look closer. That is their escape hatch. If you are special, then they do not have to face the reality that they too could have accomplished more. It protects their pride. But the longer they are near you, the more difficult it becomes to deny the truth. They could have endeavored harder. They could have remained awake later. They could have sacrificed comfort for growth. But they did not. And your intelligence is proof of what occurs when someone refuses mediocrity. Your light does not make them small. It just reveals how small they have elected to remain. That is the sting. Your curiosity exposes their complacency. Your consistency renders their shortcuts apparent. Your progress emphasizes their stagnation. Even when you are silent, your presence is loud because it forces them to confront the truth. The difference is not fate, it is choice. And that is why they attack. They will claim you were lucky, that doors magically opened for you, that life simply handed you opportunities. These are comfort stories, lies they tell themselves so they do not have to confess their laziness. Because confessing the truth would scorch too intensely. That you labored when they slept, that you studied when they wasted time, that you sacrificed when they surrendered. The bitter truth is this: most would rather resent brilliance than ascend to meet it. Your intelligence is not offensive due to arrogance or pride. It is offensive because it exposes, and exposure is what people fear the most. You are the living reminder that they are capable of more than their excuses permit. And that reminder does not merely unsettle them, it shakes them to their foundation. Number 5, you slice through their illusions like glass. Authority disintegrates the instant someone ceases mistaking symbols for truth. That is why your intelligence unsettles them so profoundly, chosen one. Society venerates the surface, degrees framed on walls, titles polished on business cards, medals dangling like trophies of superiority. These objects are intended to separate the qualified from the unqualified. But you see through them like glass. You do not bow to paper, plaques, or pomp. You bow only to truth, and that terrifies those who have constructed their entire worth on appearances. Envision this, a grand stage filled with performers in robes and crowns, reciting their lines with pride. The crowd applauds because the costumes persuade them. But you, chosen one, see directly past the fabric and jewels. You recognize that the performance is hollow, the authority scripted, the crown nothing but polished metal. That is why they fear you, because your eyes strip away the theater, leaving only the fragile human underneath. Most do not pursue knowledge to comprehend. They pursue it to be praised, and recognition, unlike wisdom, is fragile. That is why people with titles feel insignificant around you. Their power depends on external validation. While you carry depth without requiring a stage, your independence cuts directly through the illusion. And when that illusion shatters, so does their superiority. It is not that you disrespect education. In truth, you value learning more than most. But you do not confuse memorization with mastery. You do not mistake indoctrination for intelligence. True intelligence, as you live it, is about posing the questions no one dares to touch. And nothing rattles institutions more than someone who asks why. Because why reveals the cracks. Why exposes the foundations. Why renders their walls of authority transparent. This is why people react defensively in your presence. They sense that their badges do not impress you, that their titles do not affect you. Stripped of these symbols, they fear they have nothing remaining. And that exposure is unbearable. They cannot conceal themselves behind systems when you are in the room. Their knowledge becomes transparent. Their pretense is invisible. You do not validate yourself with credentials. You validate knowledge itself by living it. That is the distinction. You do not merely absorb information. You refine it. You challenge it. You elevate it into wisdom. And that makes you dangerous. Because while others cling to glass, you are already holding the diamond of truth. And in your presence, the glass always shatters. Number 6, your creativity is not made, it is translated. Some create to be seen, others create because they are chosen to carry what cannot remain hidden. That is the razor's edge of your creativity, chosen one. Society tells itself that brilliance is constructed from talent, effort, or clever techniques. But you and I both know that is not the truth. Your creativity does not feel like invention. It feels like revelation. Ideas do not trickle into you like they do with others. They arrive fully formed like lightning striking, and your only task is to ground the current. That is why people look at your work and shake their heads. Baffled, they inquire, "How did you conceive of this?" But the question itself is incorrect. You did not conceive of it. You translated it. Envision this. The world is a congested radio dial. Static everywhere, voices overlapping, people scrambling to tune into something clear. Most never locate the correct frequency. But you are an antenna tuned to channels they do not even know exist. While they are straining to detect noise, you are pulling down symphonies. And when you convert those signals into words, art, music, vision, or strategy, people feel it. Not just in their minds, but in their bones. You do not force brilliance, you decode it. That is the difference. Others create through formulas, through exertion, through endless trial and error. But your creativity does not originate from grinding. It originates from alignment. That is why your work carries weight that cannot be imitated. It feels alive. It carries echoes. It moves people in ways they cannot explain. They will utter statements like, "There is something distinct about this," or "I cannot elucidate why this resonates so intensely." What they are sensing is that your work is not merely human. It is a translation of something timeless, and that is precisely why it unnerves people. When they compare themselves to you, they feel small. They can mimic trends, copy styles, and follow instructions, but they cannot access the reservoir you are drawing from. They do not possess the antenna, and instead of admitting it, many will dismiss you, criticize you, or diminish your brilliance to luck. But the truth, they know your work carries a frequency they cannot touch. Your creativity is a bridge, the unseen crossing into the seen. That is why it does not merely impress, it shakes people, because deep down they realize they are not merely observing you work. They are witnessing the eternal being translated into the language of now. And that truth, it unsettles them more than they will ever confess. Number 7, you are the genuine article in a world of imitations. Nothing humiliates a pretender more than standing beside the authentic. That is the wound you carry into every room, chosen one. People spend years polishing masks, rehearsing lines, and borrowing brilliance from others to persuade the world they are intelligent, profound, or original. To most eyes, it functions. They appear confident, they sound insightful, they seem unique. But when you arrive, the entire performance collapses because you embody what they have been counterfeiting. Envision this, a marketplace filled with imitation jewelry, each piece sparkling just sufficiently to deceive a crowd. Then someone enters with a diamond. Abruptly, every imitation loses its luster. That is you, your intelligence, your depth, your originality. They are not rehearsed. They are not packaged. They are not borrowed. They radiate from you naturally the way light radiates from the sun. And that contrast humiliates those who have built their identity on pretense. Authenticity requires no costume, but pretense demands constant upkeep. You do not force brilliance into conversations. It flows effortlessly. Your depth is not staged. It is in your silence as much as your words. And your originality is not a desperate endeavor to stand out. It is the way you breathe, the way you exist. That is why they lash out. They will accuse you of arrogance, of endeavoring too hard, of being excessive. But these are not truths about you. They are shields they conceal behind, flimsy defenses against the shame of being exposed. Here is the paradox. Many of them commenced their act because they craved the respect that comes naturally to you. They desired to be admired as insightful, strong, or unique. But when they encounter you, the authentic version of everything they have pretended to be, the respect they desired evaporates because now their costume appears cheap beside your reality. And instead of celebrating what they claim to value, they attack it. Because if they acknowledged you, they would have to confess they have been deceiving themselves all along. You do not expose them by speaking. You expose them by existing. That is the knife. You do not point fingers. You do not call anyone out. You simply appear as yourself. But that alone reminds them how much energy they waste performing a role. It Hatred consumes them and humiliation transforms into hostility. So do not be astonished when the pretenders despise you. It is not because you are wrong, it is because you are correct. You embody the very thing they have been pretending to be, and nothing burns deeper than being unmasked by the effortless presence of the genuine. Number 8, you transform their chaos into clarity. The ultimate threat to confusion is a mind that makes the impossible appear effortless. That is precisely why, Chosen One, your intelligence shakes people at their core. Where others perceive walls, you perceive doors. Where they drown in entangled knots, you untie them with a single pull. You do not merely consume information. You restructure it, refine it, and return it so simply that it feels obvious. And that is what disarms them. Because once you have revealed the truth, they can no longer conceal themselves behind excuses. Envision this: a room full of people gazing at a puzzle with missing pieces, scratching their heads, frustrated, declaring it unsolvable. Then you step in, rotate the pieces once, and abruptly the picture emerges. To them it feels like magic, but to you it is just vision. That is why they resent you. Because what they labeled impossible, you converted into child's play, and the moment you do, their excuses collapse. Complexity is comfort for the indolent. When something feels too arduous, people utilize it as a shield, a reason to delay, to avoid, to quit. But your clarity exposes that shield for what it truly is: fear disguised as difficulty. That is why they mistake your gift for arrogance. They believe you are showing off when you cut through what overwhelms them. But the truth is, you are not attempting to impress anyone. You are simply operating at a level they have not attained. And this gift extends beyond knowledge. It is about vision. You perceive the pattern inside the chaos, the signal inside the noise, the essence inside the clutter. While others become trapped in irrelevant details, you extract what truly matters and present it like it was always there. That moment unsettles them because it forces them to face the truth. The mountain they feared was nothing but a shadow. What genuinely rattles people is how natural this is for you. You do not wrestle, you do not grind, it flows. And your ease exposes the weight of their struggle. While they thrash in the water, you walk across it. While they panic in the storm, you read the weather and locate the path. That contrast humiliates them because it reveals that the barrier was not the problem. Their perspective was, you do not simplify to impress, you simplify to unlock. That is your concealed edge. You reveal potential in places where others only perceive obstacles. Some will resent you for it, clinging to their excuses. Others will be liberated, realizing they were stronger than they believed. Either way, your brilliance leaves them unsettled because you convert the chaos that drowns them into shallow water, and they cannot decide whether to envy you or express gratitude. Number 9, you construct legacies while they pursue paychecks. The limited mind inquires, what can I obtain today? The visionary inquires, what will endure a century from now? That is the fault line between you and them, Chosen One. Most people are trapped in short horizons. Their world revolves around paychecks, annual objectives, perhaps a 5-year plan at best. Their imagination is shackled to their own lifetimes. But your mind, it extends beyond the moment, beyond the decade, beyond even your own existence. And that terrifies them. Envision this. They are planting flowers that blossom for a season. You are planting forests that will stand for centuries. While they chase instant harvests, you are constructing ecosystems. That is why they dismiss your ideas as unrealistic or impractical. It is not because you are wrong. It is because their vision is too limited to comprehend yours. They think in survival, you think in legacy, and legacy humiliates those who cannot see past their own reflection. Short-term thinkers protect systems. Long-term thinkers expose their fragility. That is why your foresight shakes them. You perceive governments as temporary, industries as cycles, cultures as waves that rise and fall. You already detect the cracks forming while they cling to the illusion of permanence. When you speak about shifts that extend beyond their lifetime, they resist. Not because they do not sense the truth, but because it dismantles their security. They desire to believe their systems will last forever. You remind them that nothing does. And here is the paradox. The very ideas they ridicule today will be the blueprints future generations depend on. The innovations they call impossible will be tomorrow's necessity. The visions they laugh at will one day be studied as foresight. They do not perceive it yet, but deep down they feel the weight in your words. They know you are not guessing. They know your clarity pierces where their imagination fails. Legacy is heavier than recognition. That is why your vision feels like a burden sometimes. You are not merely resolving problems of the present. You are laying foundations for people you will never meet. You are planting seeds in soil that will outlive you, and that unsettles them because it exposes the smallness of their own ambitions. They realize you're not playing for applause or likes. You are playing for history. And history does not yield to those who live only for the moment. That is why they are unsettled, because your vision does not merely stretch further than theirs. It reveals how painfully short their own truly is. Number 10, you are the mind they cannot download. Provide a weak mind 1,000 tools, and it still will not create what a strong mind can with nothing. That is the truth you embody, chosen one. In today's world, intelligence has been outsourced. People lean on search engines to think, calculators to solve, apps to organize, and machines to create. The line between natural ability and technological dependency has blurred so extensively that many cannot discern where their mind ceases and their crutches commence. But then you arrive, and with nothing but raw thought, you produce outcomes that require them a toolbox of gadgets to accomplish. That is why they are rattled. Your genius exposes what they have forfeited. Envision this. 2 artists sit before a blank canvas. One awaits an AI prompt to supply them inspiration. The other, you, simply listens, taps into the current flowing within, and paints a vision that feels eternal. Which one do you believe unsettles the room? The one who depends on the machine, or the one who proves brilliance can exist without it? Tools are intended to assist, but they have become substitutes for thinking. That is the ugly truth most will not admit. Instead of sharpening memory, they rely on reminders. Instead of training focus, they depend on constant stimulation. Instead of building creativity, they let algorithms choose for them. Their minds are soft, their independence fragile. And then you appear solving, creating, envisioning without requiring a digital crutch. Your independence unmasks their weakness. It is not that tools are evil. They can expand human capacity. Yes, but the distinction is this. You could remove the tools and still stand. They cannot, and that cuts them more profoundly than they will ever utter. It is easier to pretend everyone is equally dependent than to face the reality that some still carry fire that no machine can replicate. A dead battery paralyzes them. For you, it alters nothing. That is what unsettles them most. While they freeze when the Wi-Fi drops, you remain sharp, adaptive, and resourceful. Your calm independence exposes their fragility. Your genius is more than ability. It is a mirror. It forces them to confront how much of their intelligence is rented, not owned. And that is why they are intimidated, because you remind them of a sobering truth. Without their tools, they collapse. Without their tools, they vanish. But you would still create, still build, still stand. And that reality is the one thing they cannot copy, download, or purchase. Number 11, you bend words but sharpen truth. Most speak to be heard. You speak to be felt. That is the difference that rattles them, chosen one. For most people, language is a cage. They repeat the same exhausted phrases, recycle cliches, and cling to predictable scripts that barely graze the surface of what they genuinely feel. But you refuse to let words confine you. You do not merely use language, you bend it, stretch it, rearrange it, and instead of breaking meaning, you amplify it. That is why your voice does not merely communicate. It cuts, it pierces, it reveals. Envision this. Most people treat words like bricks, stacking them neatly into boxes to construct safe little houses of conversation, but you wield words like fire, incinerating the false walls and illuminating truths that were interred in darkness. They desire neatness. You bring impact. They desire order. You bring revelation. And when you speak, people feel something they cannot quite explain. It is not just sentences. It is vibration, resonance, power. Your language is not imitation. It is liberation. That is why people accuse you of speaking differently. They attempt to mock it because it unsettles them. They expect words to follow rules, to carry predictable definitions, to remain inside boundaries. But you break those rules and somehow your words carry even more truth. That difference renders your speech unforgettable. Where they aim to be understood in the moment, you aim to be remembered long after the silence. The irony is this. Those who act confused by your words are often the same ones replaying them later, realizing you provided them more than a sentence. You provided them a shift in perspective. You provided them a seed of transformation disguised as conversation. That is why they cannot shake your words, even if they laugh at them. They use words as habit. You wield them as weapons and instruments of freedom. That is the mirror you hold up. While they cling to language for comfort, you tear it open to expose what lies underneath. You articulate the unutterable, simplify the complex, and give shape to what others cannot name. And that is what genuinely shakes them, because it reveals how shallow their own use of language has become. You do not break language to destroy it. You break it to free it. And in freeing it, you free those who hear you, even the ones who are not prepared to admit it. Your words do not merely inform, they transform. And transformation always unsettles the stagnant. Number 12, you're not rare. You are the future in flesh. The rarest sight is not a miracle. It is a preview of what humanity could become. That is what you are, chosen one. People adore labeling you one of a kind because it feels safe. It places you in a category of exception, a freak of brilliance that exists beyond their reach. But the truth is sharper, heavier, and far more unsettling. You are not merely different. You are proof. A living preview of human potential stretched beyond its comfort zone. And that truth shakes them to the core. Envision this. The majority of humanity is gazing at an old map, convinced the world concludes at the edges, marked in ink. Then you appear, walking in from beyond the borders they swore did not exist. Suddenly their map appears small, obsolete, irrelevant. That is what your presence accomplishes. You are not a random anomaly. You are a signal that the blueprint of humanity is unfinished and you are carrying fragments of the next draft. Your intelligence, your creativity, your vision, they are not accidents. They are indicators. Indicators of what occurs when the mind, intuition, and purpose lock into alignment. And that is why people cannot decide whether to admire you or resist you, because your existence compels a brutal realization. The world they have accepted is smaller than it could be. Their imagination is stuck in yesterday's framework, while you are already navigating tomorrow's landscape. They are not only rattled by what you do, they are rattled by what it signifies for them. Because when they observe you resolving problems with precision, creating ideas that feel otherworldly, or moving in sync with patterns they cannot even detect, it exposes a fact they would rather ignore. You are proof they could have been more. Your gifts do not merely showcase your potential, they expose theirs, and that humiliation cuts deeper than any insult could. You are evolution in motion. That is why your presence carries both awe and fear. Awe because they glimpse a breathtaking possibility in you. A future version of humanity unshackled by mediocrity. Fear, because that same glimpse emphasizes everything they have not cultivated within themselves. You make their ambitions appear small, their perspectives appear narrow, their comfort appear like a cage, and cages rattle loudest when freedom walks past them. The truth is, most cling to predictability. They require limits because limits keep them safe. But you dismantle those limits without even endeavoring. You are a reminder that human potential is not static. You are the moving proof that we are not finished, that the next step in consciousness is already walking among them. And that is why, chosen one, you do not merely stand out, you stand ahead. Your life is not a detour from humanity's path. It is a preview of where it could lead. And whether they desire to admit it or not, they feel it. That is why people are left both inspired and unsettled in your presence. Because when they look at you, they are not merely seeing who you are, they are staring at who they could be, and that reflection is impossible to disregard.